What's going on YouTube? Is your host, Bruce GNT. We already know what this video is about, right? A woman lost her life in Minneapolis today by an ICE agent, and there's a lot of contention about it. It's very polarized, highly politicized, and you got one side saying one thing and the other side saying another thing. I usually avoid topics like this for two reasons. One, I don't like talking too much about death and everything like that on my channel. I don't want that to be like a thing, because that happens a lot, and I see it a lot. So for me, I try to avoid topics like that. Two, I don't like to get into topics too early, right? There is a lot of noise and a lot of like he said, she said, a lot. There's a lot going on with this, and I usually avoid this stuff until later on when the mist clears and I have a more accurate representation of what actually happened. Because I'm hearing news about how this ICE agent was the one that got dragged formally like a few months ago in June. I'm hearing stuff about an ex-husband. I'm hearing stuff about two ex-husbands, one that passed, one that didn't pass. I'm hearing stuff about a wife, a current wife of the person that passed and everything like that. I'm hearing so much that I was like, you know what? I kind of want to back away from this, but it's still something I want to talk about and get out there, if you will. So let's jump right in.
A US immigration officer has shot dead a woman in Minneapolis, sparking a row between the Trump administration and local officials over who is to blame. The Department of Homeland Security claimed the woman had tried to run over officers with her car and called it an act of terrorism. Minnesota's government, Tim Walz, labelled the claims as propaganda, but President Trump, who's ordered the immigration raids, accused the victim of viciously running over the agent. Here's our North America correspondent Nada Tawfik and a warning that her report has images which you may find distressing.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Minneapolis is the latest U.S. city to erupt after the Trump administration launched what it called the largest immigration enforcement operation ever carried out.
It's always these liberal white people, man. Am I lying though? Like, let's be for real. Am I lying? Come on now. It's always them. Always them. And then they find themselves in trouble, and all of a sudden they sitting back going, "Oh, this was." Stay your ass at home. That's it. Stay your ass at home. This is BBC, right? And they're very jaded towards, Trump and his administration. So much that they kind of created a false video that showed one thing during the whole January 6th situation, and he was suing them. I think he still is suing them. Everything. Yeah. It's a big thing. I ain't gonna get into all that, but remember, they are very much on a side. So take what they're saying with a grain of salt. I'm just using this as a medium.
Protesters were already on edge as immigration officers flooded residential neighborhoods and business areas. Then on Wednesday, the crackdown turned deadly after an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman. The incident was filmed by those on the scene. Here, ICE officers aggressively approach a maroon SUV blocking the residential street, ordering the woman inside to get out of her vehicle before trying to open the door. She tries to drive away, but another agent opens fire. 3 shots are heard, and the vehicle loses control and crashes. Witnesses react in shock and anger.
Dude, you shot her! I'm trying to help! No!
They pulled the person out onto the snow. There was some difficulty getting the ambulance through due to the number of ICE vehicles. They took the person away and started pushing people off the sidewalks.
The Homeland Security Secretary, an enthusiastic enforcer of the president's immigration raids, accused the woman of an act of domestic terrorism.
What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him.
Minneapolis's Democratic mayor was blunt on his reaction to that assessment.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the actual video. Cause I have a video that has like the 2 angles together, so you can see better, and then there's another one showing like a more accurate representation, like close up and everything like that. Look, my take on this is an event that could have been avoided on both sides, right? Both sides, the left and the right, are politicizing this and making it seem like, on the right side, she was just crazy woman that went out there to go attack and kill people. No. On the left side, oh, well, this ICE agent was just, drunk with power. He just went out just shooting people. No, that's not what happened. It's a combination of 2 different things. Because when we go over the video, and we will, we're going to see that, in my personal opinion, we'll get into that. So like I said, this is the video that splices the two situations or angles together, right? And you can see a little bit better, and then we're gonna go to like another one that's gonna give you even closer look as to actually what happened. Because another reason I wanted to avoid this is because I was gonna use some eyewitness reports, but even still, their reports were a little bit skewed. And the reason why is because there was someone saying how, you know, the ICE agent stuck the gun inside the passenger side of the car, and we're gonna see here, and then in the next video, that's not what happened either. And there was someone else even saying how the ICE agents all of a sudden switched up and was telling her to leave, and then all of a sudden and very quickly told her to get out the car, when it was like, no, it was pretty, like, it was a gap of time, right? It was a decent amount of gap of time. But we're gonna jump into this right now. So yeah, you saw the two angles, and we're gonna go through them and kind of dissect them a little bit. But I want to draw attention to the fact that in that last video with the BBC and everything like that, the woman that you saw running towards it that was screaming, that was her wife. Because I saw another video that showed that she was standing off to the side, she had blood on her, and I think a black man was talking to her, and she was just kind of panicking, you know, saying, oh my God, oh my God. First and foremost, sad that this woman lost her life. I think she had a child and everything like that, and the child's original father, because like I said, there's a whole lot of contention about like the news popping out, because I'm hearing stuff about how she had one ex-husband that passed, and then it's like another ex-husband, and now she has a wife. Very weird and confusing. Be that as it may, it is a sad occurrence that this woman lost her life in a completely avoidable situation. With that being said, it's evidently clear that she was there to impede the whole situation. Why? Because even the people that were more so on the side of her even said like, no, she was there impeding because she was in the way, right? Not only that, I find it strange and odd personally that, let's just say that they were driving through this neighborhood, or let's just say that they lived in this neighborhood, which I don't think they did. Your wife is in the car doing whatever she's doing, but then you're outside filming. That doesn't make any sense to me. I could be off, I could be wrong, but that just seems weird. So it seems like you guys went there with an ulterior motive. The ICE agent that stepped in front of the car, I believe, just like I said earlier, was one of the ones that was in this whole thing where he got dragged a good decent amount of feet by someone else that they were trying to arrest. So personally, I'm not trying to put this on him, but I wouldn't be standing in front of no goddamn car. I've been hit by a car before. I'm a little bit skittish. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bit skittish. And the last thing I'm gonna do is stand in front of a car as someone that, you know, I'm trying to get in. Nah. I'm not doing all that. But we're gonna watch it one more time and pay attention to both sides, because you have people on the left saying that she was in no way gonna hit him, and you have people on the right saying that she went on like a savage attack. I think it's a combination of two things. But let's watch it and I'll talk about that. If you pay attention up until this point, right, especially if you looked at the other video, because the other video shows that it looks like she was actually clipping him. The first video I saw was this one right here to the left. And from that angle, I was like, oh, I don't really think she really was that close to hit. Well, she was close to him, but I don't think she was really going to hit him. Then I saw this angle, and there's actually a third angle out there, but I can't find that one. Showing from like another angle and distance where it was like, okay, no. She actually was going to hit him. I firmly believe that if he didn't move out the way and like, you know, move as he was shooting, she would have hit him. Along with that being said, I do not think she went there with the intention to hit him, and I do not think even as she was driving that her intention was to hit him. I think what happened was that she got spooked. She saw them coming near her. No weapons were drawn. Just let that be said. And she was like, okay, I'm going to get arrested. Decided to back up and try to drive away. That's what I think was going to happen. In the heat of the moment, adrenaline pumping, she didn't see that he was off to the side right there in front of her driver's side, because that's where he was. He wasn't directly in front of the vehicle. He was more so on the driver's side, right? She drove off. He reacted. Now, people are talking about like the shots and everything like that. As you all know, I was in the military. If you don't know, I was in the military, Marines and everything like that, and I got pistol training. I don't know how it is for federal agents and police officers, but what I do know is that we're taught when we're using pistol, we're trying to neutralize the target. 3 shots. Usually 2 in the chest, 1 in the pelvis, 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. They always tell us to go for the pelvis because the headshot is always hard to get to. With that being said, it's just a repetition of throwing 3 shots out there when you're shooting. You know what I'm saying? Because even when it came to drawing up, right, that's a trained reflex. Because you're sitting there and everything like that, you come up, pop, pop, pop. That's how that is, because that's how my mind works. I'm firing 3 shots. Whether I'm going to hit the pelvis, the head, or whatever have you, I already know for a fact I'm firing 2 shots at least that's going to hit the chest. Like I said, this whole thing could have been avoided. Do I think that he went out there intending to shoot someone to kill her? No, but it was training. It was training. Do I think that she went out there intending to run someone over? No, she panicked. That's my own personal opinion. Her ass should have been in the house. The reason I showed it to you again right then is because the first shot, let's just say this was something to go to court. The first shot, I would say, was justified, personally, because he was still in front of the vehicle and she was driving in his direction. People would talk about, oh, well, obviously how the wheel was turned. Look, when you're in front of a vehicle, especially one like that, I've been in front of vehicles like that, especially when you've been hit by a car before, or just in general, when adrenaline's pumping, you're not looking at the wheel, where the wheel is at and everything like that. All you know is that you see a vehicle coming towards you. Trust me, it's terrifying. You don't want that. People need to learn how to follow orders. I go over a lot of body cam footage and everything like that. I haven't done a video on it in a little while, but I go over a lot of body cam footage. And one thing I know is that when you're given a direct order, whether it's by an officer or whoever have you, you may not like it. It's not about what you like. Do that shit. Handle that shit on the back end, whether it was unlawful, and sue them, take them to court, do whatever you have to do. But if they tell you get out the car, get out the car. Get out the car. I've seen people get their windows busted because they don't want to get out the car. Look, I just paid off my car. I got no debt. You think I want people busting up my window? No. Get out the car? I bet. Cool. I'll deal with this after. They told her 3 times to get out the vehicle. She didn't. She decided to reverse and try to drive off. Easily preventable. I don't know, maybe that's how my mind works with, being in the military and everything like that. And the idea of just following orders is like one of those things of, okay, just do it. You may not like it. But if she had just gotten out the car when they told her to, right? Because I think she got spooked, but even still, she's just gotten out the car. She may still be alive today. We'll never know. But I firmly believe she still would be. But let's jump into his next video, because a lot of people were talking about how assuming he had his hand on his gun already and everything like that. We're going to jump into that. So right here we have the upscale kind of like slow-mo version of the video, right? And I actually did find a third angle of the video, so we'll get into that a little bit after this. As you can see here, he hasn't drawn his weapon yet. It's only until she moves forward and he draws it up. That's how fast it is. Because all it takes, if you pay attention, you saw, I'll go back a little bit more. She's starting to pull back. Obviously getting ready to reverse. This is slow motion, so obviously it seems like it's longer. As she moves forward, he pulls out his weapon and then fires. The reason I brought that up is because a lot of people feel like I said, one, that she was totally in the clear. She wasn't trying to run him over. I don't think she was trying to run him over. I think she just panicked. And then 2, people were saying that, he was just gun-ho and everything like that. He was just ready to shoot. No, the minute she got into drive and started going forward, he's in front of the driver's side vehicle, right? You have only seconds, less than that, to react. See how fast he came up? That's all it takes. Trust me, I've done the drill. It doesn't take that long for it to come up. It does not take that long. You can do it once it becomes a reflex, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You have split seconds to really go, oh shit, this is really happening. Because in his mind, all he sees is a vehicle, a 5,000-pound vehicle moving towards him. So a lot of people that's saying, oh, well, you can tell by the orientation. No one's looking at that shit, all right? You see a vehicle coming towards you. You had the trainer to stop that because that's what they're supposed to do, whether you like it or not, and you act. So this angle doesn't really give you much when it comes to seeing exactly how it plays out when, she hits him or aims at him and anything like that. But what you do see, right, is the ICE officer right here, that one that did fire the shot, and I believe to be her wife. Cause I do remember that the person that claimed to be her wife that went to go help immediately was dressed like this. And also, like I said earlier, she was recorded from outside the vehicle, which, me personally, leads me to believe that you were trying to impede ICE and everything like that. And like I said, there's been a lot of stuff coming out saying that this person was this person was that. I'm not going to talk about that. I like to go off for cold hard facts.
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood. What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
So as you can see from that, right, even though we didn't see like the actual incident happen from that angle, what we saw was, I believe to be her wife, don't quote me too much on this, following the ICE agent around as her other wife, or you know what I'm talking about, sits in the vehicle and seemingly was impeding traffic. Because unless I'm crazy, I don't see why these vehicles are just sitting there like that. I think this is an ICE vehicle that pulled over to the side, and then her vehicle was just there at an awkward angle that is obviously trying to stop some shit. But like I said, what you saw was she following the ICE agent around, recording him, everything like that. He goes around the front, and then that's when everything pop off. But look, that's really it. The whole thing, like I said before, is a sad occurrence. Obviously, we're gonna see a whole lot more come out about this. It's gonna be a storm of information and news. Some being misinformation, some of it being real. But as it stands right now, my stance on it is this: should this have happened? No. There are multiple points of failure. They actually should have been inside the house and/or not dealing with that situation in the first place. Because why are you out here trying to? No, the ICE officer, in my personal opinion. Because like what we said, because there's a lot of contention, people saying, oh, well, they would give conflicting orders. No, from what we saw, right, this showed a little bit more at the beginning. They came out and they were like, okay, get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the effing car. They told her multiple different times to get out the car. She refused to do so, tried to drive away. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad occurrence. Like I said, I feel sorry for that child. Lost one parent a few years ago and then now lost another one. You know, but yeah, totally avoidable. Totally avoidable. Well, you guys already know the drill. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Like I said, I'm in the middle when it comes to this is multiple points of failure. It should never happen. I can't say that I'm more so on either one side, but when it comes to the narrative being spread by the left and the right, I don't agree with either one of them. Because the right is making it seem she was just some crazy person that went there and was mowing down people trying to attack him. That's not what we saw. The left is trying to make it seem he just was gun-ho, just shooting and firing and everything like that, and they were accosting people. That's not what we saw. That's not what we saw. The truth is somewhere in the middle, in between those two. You saw it right here. And if I'm wrong, here's what it is. Comment down below, tell me how I'm wrong. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.